He just has to touch you once.
Going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he pushed down.
Dude hits hard. hard. You know they have that punch machine?
Oh, yeah,
where
you can see the power? What's his power?
190.
Dream that I was that fast and then I was.
Why you wake up? You should have kept dreaming.
Fast.
Joe Rogan couldn't believe what he was seeing. Fresh training footage dropped showing Shakur Stevenson going absolutely wild with combinations that had everyone talking. The hand speed was next level and the precision was surgical.
He even does it with his right hand, which is not his power punch.
And it still
his
was
power
130?
punch is his left hook. His left hook is what he knocks out everybody with. But it might be that his left hook is faster and it's a better weapon because it's in the front, and his right hand is more powerful, but he just doesn't land it as often that way. Did you find it?
Here's the thing, though. This shift in how Stevenson's been preparing tells us something bigger is happening. Sure, he's always been a defensive mastermind, but now we're seeing him load up on these explosive sequences. This looks like a completely different version of Shakur Stevenson, ready to bring the fight. So get this. Terrence Crawford has been right there in camp, working directly with Stevenson as he gets ready for this massive Lopez fight. We're talking about one of the pound-for-pound best fighters alive actually drilling and sparring with Shakur in the gym. Stevenson's been grinding to adjust his game for the move up to 40 and challenge Lopez for everything.
With the phone in my hand. I was this ever.
What separates Stevenson's approach is how calculated everything becomes. This isn't about throwing wild haymakers or trying to overwhelm someone with volume. Every movement has purpose. Every punch gets thrown with clear intention, and the timing becomes absolutely critical. Watch how he moves his head, and you'll see these tiny adjustments that keep him safe while staying in perfect position to fire back.
First sparring day, say he about to violate, we about to see. Up. He gonna think he gonna think the referee hitting him in that bitch. Champ gonna just be hitting him all day long. Bop, bop, bop. He gonna be steady coming. Oh, he tough. But we gonna hit him with all that good shit. We gonna be ready for his ass. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, will I make you good? Yeah, get ready.
The contrast in styles here is fascinating. Stevenson operates on pure timing and anticipation, sitting back and waiting for his moments to counterpunch. Lopez takes a completely different approach, pressing forward but staying smart about when to commit to his shots.
Picking his shots carefully.
Talking about styles making fights, and T.O.'s style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know, not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys.
He's spoken openly about
What drives Stevenson is this constant hunger to test himself against the absolute best competition available. He wants fighters who will push his limits and force him to evolve every single time he steps through those ropes. That mentality keeps sharpening his focus and builds the kind of confidence you need when you're facing someone like Lopez.
But it's in a message to the fans, but I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's going to have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
So now I gotta play chess. I gotta do what I do best.
Then there's the punch selection aspect that really sets him apart. Instead of just unloading everything he's got, Stevenson picks his spots and waits for those perfect openings. When he does let his hands go, those shots land clean and throw off whatever rhythm his opponent was trying to establish.
All we do is win.
The preparation for this Lopez fight has been absolutely relentless. Stevenson's been grinding every single day, pushing his body and mind to handle the step up in weight while fine-tuning every aspect of his game. The sparring sessions have been elite level, working with guys like Crawford to simulate exactly what Lopez might bring. He's been hitting the weights harder to generate more pop in his punches. Even when everyone else was celebrating holidays, Stevenson stayed locked in the gym, keeping his conditioning sharp and his mind focused on one thing. This level of commitment shows you exactly how serious he is about handling the biggest challenge of his professional career.
He told me, hey,
Let's fight.
Here's how this whole thing breaks down. Stevenson becomes this defensive riddle that opponents just can't solve, constantly forcing them to change their approach until they start falling apart mentally. He operates on timing and anticipation, making himself nearly impossible to hit with anything clean. Lopez brings this measured aggression, moving forward intelligently without throwing away opportunities by overcommitting to shots. Their experts are calling this a chess match, where both fighters will be testing each other's mental game, adaptability, and pure boxing intelligence, rather than just trying to overpower each other.
Power or aggression.
I don't expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way William Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights. And Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys.
Most fighters moving up a weight class would take a couple tune-up fights to adjust. Not Stevenson. He went straight after the title because he believes he belongs with the best fighters at any weight. Meanwhile, Lopez's recent run at 140 has people split, with some critics pointing out that he's been winning decisions instead of stopping guys and questioning whether he's really the most dangerous champion in the division. Still, Lopez has that championship experience and proven track record against top-level opposition that makes him incredibly dangerous for anyone, especially someone brand new to the weight class.
I heard you was the one that wanted to fight, right?
Yeah. I actually set this fight up. And I honestly did it because I wanted to push myself. I know that Teo is a tremendous fighter. I know he's on an extremely high level. And I feel like, well, I know that I can beat him, but I know that this should be a tough session, so I'm ready.
Who were some of the other options you had?
Lamar Roach.
That would have been a real good fight, man. But I mean, Teo, he's a bigger name, though, so I see why you went with him.
Yeah, bigger name, and also he got the more accolades. He's been undisputed before. He's won belts at 35, won belts at 30, at 40. So he's more accomplished. So I know that would be a better name on my resume.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that this is going to be a tough fight for you.
I mean, they absolutely right to have their opinion. I already know this guy's good. I done came up in the amateurs with him. I chose this for that reason. Like,
the tale of the tape tells an interesting story here. Stevenson brings that perfect 24-0 record with 11 knockouts, already collecting world titles at lighter weights and defending his WBC lightweight championship with technical brilliance. His movement, discipline, and southpaw stance create problems that most fighters just can't figure out. Lopez comes in at 22-1 with 13 knockouts as the current IBF light welterweight champion, having moved up after unifying belts at lightweight. Lopez has been vocal about elite fighters deserving elite money, arguing that a fight this big should deliver entertainment and proper compensation for both men. He emphasizes bringing excitement and creativity to his performances, not just playing it safe. Analysts have been impressed by his adaptability and technique against elite competition. He studies the legends and blends classic combinations with modern athleticism to keep evolving his game. For Lopez, this Stevenson fight represents more than just a payday or publicity. This is about proving his versatility, respecting the sport's history, and cementing his place among the biggest names of this generation.
You know what you're talking about, right?
Of course, I'm talking about Shakur.
For a bill.
For me.
Ooh,
we didn't get into Shakur.
Oh, yeah, I want to see like entertainment and then pay the man for that entertainment.
Well,
I
got that being.
I give it all different kind of traits of skills. I mean, even Andre Ward, someone that's like an analyst, like a perfectionist in boxing, like his IQ is high. He was even the commentator, like he was surprised how I did that jab where it was like a Superman punch to Josh Taylor, a guy that's undisputed and everything, and just made it look so easy. I bring so many things. I even brought a George Foreman combination now because that's everything. Everything is everything. Like I go back in time because that's where my future is at. Mm-hmm. And so like for as far as like retirement and stuff, honestly, man, it's up to the networks. It's really up to the networks.
Eddie Hearn broke down why this Lopez versus Stevenson clash represents exactly what boxing needs right now. Both guys are in their absolute prime, with completely different but equally dangerous skill sets. Hearn highlighted Stevenson's technical brilliance and mental approach, noting how his ring intelligence and preparation make him a serious threat even when he's giving up size and power to a natural 140-pound champion. At the same time, Hearn recognizes Lopez's explosiveness and natural athletic ability, plus how unpredictable he can be with that unorthodox approach. According to Hearn, this stylistic clash of boxing IQ versus raw power and momentum creates the kind of matchup that has fans on the edge of their seats.
I think Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is, pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing them in their prime.
Teddy Atlas gave both Stevenson and Lopez major props for doing something most elite fighters try to avoid. They're taking genuinely dangerous fights against top-level opposition. In today's boxing world, you see guys protecting undefeated records, taking easy title defenses, or pushing back risky fights for business reasons. These two aren't playing that game. They're stepping up against each other at a higher weight class, knowing exactly what's at stake. This shows real confidence in their abilities and respect for the competitive spirit that built this sport. By making this fight happen, both men are honoring boxing's traditions and giving fans what they want to see.
You know, Teofimo at certain spot, he's avoiding this guy, he's avoiding that guy. You can't take those shots at these two guys. Definitely can't now. They are stepping up and they are taking fights that a lot of people are probably surprised they took. Now, a lot of people will say style-wise, Teddy, style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, you know, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite. They will make, you know, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science.
Atlas also pointed out that while this Stevenson versus Lopez matchup guarantees high-level skill, it might not deliver constant fireworks or wild exchanges. Boxing fans understand the difference between technically brilliant fights and those that are pure entertainment. Some fights showcase absolute mastery without non-stop action. Stevenson proved his versatility against Robson Canseco by fighting effectively both inside and outside, mixing defensive slickness with controlled aggression. He managed distance perfectly, landed accurate counters, and adapted to whatever his opponent brought while staying competitive for the full fight. These skills mean that even if this isn't an all-out war, fans will witness intelligent, elite-level boxing featuring strategy, skill, and real-time adaptation.
I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, you know, being elusive while being aggressive. You know, walking them down, fighting on the inside, you know, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great. And people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it.
So here's the ultimate question. Will Stevenson's technical mastery be enough to outbox Lopez, or can Lopez's power and championship experience deliver a shocking upset on fight night? Let me know your prediction in the comments.